A subject that is not talked about enough on YouTube, in my opinion, would simply be, is there a specific type of silver that you do need to be making sure is airtight when you store it? Some people seem to be putting everything that they have in some sort of tube or capsule or box. They just seem to have some type of fear that their silver is going to be toned and it's going to absolutely ruin it and bring it down in value. Then you have people on the other hand who don't really seem to care whether it be bullion or sovereign coins. They don't mind if it gets a little bit toned. They don't mind if it gets a little bit dirty. Which one of these best describes you? Which one of these best describes me? Let's get into it. Welcome to my channel. This is Silver Augustine. I got another video. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for clicking on the video. Hope you enjoy it. If you do, please leave a like. Maybe go down to the comment section and leave a comment so there's some interaction on the video and it can help me out there. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. Hope you liked what you saw the first time. Hopefully I can continue to give you good content moving into the future. If you're able to watch until the end of the video, it would also help out a lot. Hopefully if you're new to stacking, you can learn something new or maybe a lot of things new. If you've been stacking for a long time, maybe you can just see the way that I do things. If you want to go down to the comments and let me know the way that you do things, I'm wide open to more knowledge at all times because always still learning. Also, I got a new microphone in this week, so let me know if you can tell any difference between the quality. I personally think it sounds a lot better with this microphone than the other one, but let me know if you disagree. Anyways, done babbling, let's get into it. So firstly, I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. This is just what I do. This is what my method is. This is what I think makes the most sense. If you do something different, that's fine. I think everyone has the right to do whatever they want to do with their silver, depending on how they want to treat it, depending on how they want to keep it, how they want to resell it, all that stuff. So again, this is just the way that I do things, and maybe if I can explain it and it makes a little bit of sense to you, then maybe you can adjust the way that you do it moving forward. Maybe it makes sense to you, and if you disagree, let me know how you do it. I would be more than happy to read about it in the comments. To cut right to the chase, what makes the most sense to me is if the type of silver that you have is something that is going to resell for more of a premium in any way, whether it be rarity, collectability, numismatic, if it's something that you think you can sell to a private buyer, or if it's something that you could even sell to your local coin shop and get an added premium onto it for whatever type of silver it is, then in my opinion, that's the kind of silver that you want to keep in tip-top shape. I think that constitutional silver, junk silver, obviously everybody treats that like trash because it's called junk silver and there's plenty of it and it's all highly circulated, and there's no point in taking extra precautions and keeping that in extra good shape. Obviously, if you want to take your silver and protect your silver, that's going to cost extra money. If you buy a generic buffalo round and you pay $1.50 over spot for it, most people are not going to want to pay an extra dollar to put it inside of a hard capsule, especially when they're buying in bulk. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense because that capsule is really not going to add any resale value to the round. Obviously, most people don't even buy and sell generic rounds with capsules on them or any kind of protection. Now, if you've paid attention to any of the silver that I've shown so far on my channel, most of my bars are in plastic. That's how they came when I bought them through the online retailers that I purchased them from. Most of these came with plastic on them. There's a couple that arrived a little bit damaged. Maybe there was holes in the plastic. I went ahead and cut the plastic off because at that point it wasn't doing my silver bar any good, protecting it from oxidizing and toning. And at that point I just as soon see the silver and enjoy the beauty of it. I actually have been going back and forth recently, at least since I started the channel, on taking some of the silver bars that I've got in plastic that are more generic and going ahead and pulling them out of the plastic so that I can just get better camera angles on them and you can see the surface a little bit better. I think it definitely looks a lot more aesthetically pleasing to see the light hit it when it's not wrapped in a layer of plastic, especially when the plastic's all scratched up. So that's just something I'm personally struggling with right now. If you have a preference, let me know in the comments if you would prefer me to take some of that silver out of the plastic, because I would be willing to do it for the sake of the channel and for content that people would actually be wanting and seeing. The biggest reason I would feel comfortable doing this is because I know that for especially these more generic bars, as much as I would hate to see them get messed up or toned in any way, it's not going to affect the resale value in any significant way at all. And that's one of the main points of this video. I can take it out and drag it in the streets and I can go in and I can still get spot price for it if it is still 10 ounces of silver. Now obviously I'm being a little hyperbolic there. You don't want to intentionally mistreat your silver. It's not going to be as desirable, but it doesn't have to be in perfect condition to still hold its value as silver, and that's the main point that I'm making here in this video. You don't have to baby every piece of silver that you have unless it is a more premium product. So if you think that you can get more than spot, at least substantially more than spot, then go for it. But a lot of the times you're only going to resell a lot of this stuff. Unless you buy the really expensive stuff, you're going to resell most of this stuff at or around spot price. Now, between some of my older American Silver Eagles, some of my Peace dollars, some of my Morgan dollars, I don't typically put those in any kind of a case, especially if they've already been highly circulated. Sometimes I'll buy a pack of 60 capsules or whatever from Amazon, and if I've got capsules left over with nothing in them, then I might take some of those coins and throw them in just so I don't have a bunch of empty capsules sitting around taking up that extra space. But it's not necessary, and a lot of these coins have already been beat up pretty good. I do like that aspect of some of them, so I'm perfectly fine with some of my bullion and some of my coin getting a little bit toned and a little bit beat up because it gives it some character. And some of these I like to carry around in my pocket. Obviously something like that, I wouldn't take the extra money and time and go buy something to keep it from getting oxidized because I'm handling it on a daily basis. I'm a big fan of keeping my 5-ounce rounds in cases just because the cases are not that very expensive. And although technically these 5-ounce rounds that I have are not really numismatics, I kind of see them as semi-numismatics just because of the premium for them being made the way that they are. So I try to take care of them. I'm not buying them in bulk. I'm just buying a couple that suits my fancy. So when it comes to something you consider semi-numismatic or something that maybe to you is a little bit more collectible, it's kind of up to your discretion how much money you're willing to spend if you're planning on keeping that. When it comes to sovereign coins, it really is just a matter of preference. I've heard more and more people recently saying that they consider the American Silver Eagle to just be basic bullion, and I know for the longest time people that I knew had them in capsules and they wouldn't touch them, kept them in great condition, and now you have people saying that there are millions and millions of them being minted every year. There's nothing special about them. You can handle them. It's not going to decrease the value. Obviously, it depends on who you resell to. Some people privately through Facebook Marketplace or eBay may have a preference. If you go to your local coin shop, more than likely, unless it's just beat to death, it's not going to make a huge difference in resale value. So the spread between the buy price and the sell price, if you add into that buying a capsule or buying some sort of container to keep them in, you might be honestly negating any of that premium that you would be getting back, and a lot of people don't factor that in. But I do think a lot of people have personal biases when it comes to their silver and the way they treat it and the premiums that they buy and sell at. So if you're okay to spend that money and know that you're probably not going to get as much on resale as you would like to get for keeping it in perfect condition, then that's something that you can decide for yourself. I just wanted to bring it to your attention because a lot of people just seem to have a blind spot when it comes to stuff like that. They don't take into account all the money that they spend, and you're talking a difference of 50 cents, a dollar, $1.50 when you go back to sell to your local coin shop. Obviously, if you have someone or a community close by you that you sell to each other, maybe you've got someone that's willing to pay extra money for sovereign coins that are in super good condition, but depends on your niche. That being said, I definitely am willing to say that most of the Silver Eagles that I've bought recently from my LCS have had a couple smudges, a couple fingerprints, maybe a couple scratches. But if they're not in really bad condition, I go ahead and put them in capsules because, like I said again, if you buy capsules in bulk, there's really no need not to use them. They're already going to be taking up space. You might as well consolidate. So that's what I do. Tubes are a good option as well. I have heard people say that a lot of these tubes are not quite as airtight as maybe some of the nicer capsules are, and people that leave their silver in them for extended periods of time have noticed that they will still tone. At that point, it's completely defeated the whole purpose in you spending that money and keeping that silver in good condition. So make sure you do your own research and you get good quality tubes. All that being said, hopefully I've hit enough of the high points and answered some of your longing questions. I tried not to ramble too much. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, anything that I missed that you're curious about, put it down in the comments. I will respond to you, I promise. Maybe I can answer a question there. Thank you so much again for stopping by and watching this video. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I really hope you enjoyed the content, and hopefully you can subscribe and stick around for another video. I'm going to try to post every week. So I hope you have a fantastic day and happy stacking.